Hey guys, hope you're all doing well. Now, in this video, I'd like to talk about one of the most mysterious places in the Jurassic Park franchise. In Jurassic Park 3, our protagonists make their way to what is only known as the InGen compound, which should not be confused with the worker village that we got to see in The Lost World. This compound consisted of an administration's building, some embryonic laboratories, and kennels designed to hold the infant dinosaurs once they'd been born. The history of this particular part of Isla Sorna remains deeply shrouded in mystery, mainly because of the lack of context that is given for it in the film. Because of this, I thought it would be a good idea to examine all factual information we have on this location to better understand some of the new information that has come out in the lore of this series. This is everything we know about the laboratory from Jurassic Park 3. Now, InGen originally had made this place the location of their factory floor. This is where all of their dinosaurs would be cloned, hatched, and taken care of before they were shipped over to Isla Nublar to be featured in Jurassic Park. However, during production, this actually wasn't always the case. Originally, the script for Jurassic Park 3 actually noted that these buildings were supposed to be the same that we saw in the second film. That's why Alan Grant stops to look into the window of the destroyed car that resembles the damage done from a raptor in The Lost World. But after heavy script revisions that were actually taking place while JP3 was being filmed, this ended up being a totally different location in the final product. This is why none of the buildings look anything like they did in the second movie. Quite simply, this is a totally different place. That being said, the inside of this compound is noticeably run down and dirty. One can assume that it hasn't had any maintenance since Hurricane Clarissa ravaged the island and InGen was forced to abandon Site B. However, there may actually be some evidence to support that this isn't the full story as to what happened here. The most interesting part of this complex happens to be the Embryonics lab, which comes complete with several dino fetuses inside of large glass tubes. If you've seen the first Jurassic Park, you'll know that this is obviously a very different way to make a baby dinosaur. The purpose of these abandoned experiments was never elaborated on in the film itself. However, new material suggests this could have been the result of people returning to the island after the events of The Lost World. In canon, we know that there exists something called the Gene Guard Act, which outlawed the cloning of any more extinct animals and prohibited travel to either of the two islands that were owned by InGen. This new material has also made it abundantly clear that the Ankylosaurus, Corythosaurus, Ceratosaurus, and Spinosaurus were all animals that were cloned on Site B in 1999 after the events of the second movie. It's said that Dr. Wu returned to the island to conduct experiments before the events of the third film, and if this is indeed the location that he chose to do his work, it would explain quite a lot about the abandoned creatures that we see in this movie. In the glass tubes, we can see the remains of 3 unidentified dinosaurs, the first of which is quite unrecognizable and has only been assumed to being some sort of hadrosaur. A few other fans believe this to be an early Apatosaurus, but the jury is still out on its exact classification. The second fetus is largely believed to be a small, malnourished T-Rex. Despite any factual confirmation, the shape of the skull and tiny arms support this theory quite a bit. Now, the final fetus is the one that gets people talking the most. This animal has distinct spines growing out of its back and longer arms than its T-Rex counterpart. The skull is also shaped extremely weird and somewhat bulky when compared to its longish neck. It's believed by many that this could possibly have been a prototype version of the Spinosaurus that we see in the same movie. But again, I want to say that this animal's real identity has never been confirmed, which makes these odd experiments just as unexplained as the complex that they currently reside in. No one knows for sure what exactly happened in the walls of that laboratory all those years ago, but its creepy design and relatively haunting atmosphere have left a pretty big impression on the franchise. If this is indeed supposed to be the place that Wu conducted his experiments and created the Spinosaurus, it leaves me with another question that I'm not sure we'll ever get an answer to. What else could he have been doing in that lab? Jurassic Park 3 leaves the door wide open for speculation and fan discussion, and only until quite recently has new information on Site B been revealed to the public. Personally, I do believe that the new information was created to explain a lot of the murky details that JP3 left unexplained, and the return to Sorna in '99 was more than likely meant to connect with this derelict lab from years past. But what do all of you guys think about this? Do you think the Embryonics lab is where Wu created the Spinosaurus? Or do you think Henry did his work elsewhere? If so, what do you think InGen was doing to these fetuses in the lab, and what dinosaurs do you think they could be? This is still a pretty big mystery, and I'd love to hear all of what you guys have to say in the comments down below. Now, before I go, I want to thank my game wardens, as well as all of my InGen executives. I'd also like to thank all of my park workers and InGen hunters as well. Words can't really express how awesome it is to have you guys tell me how much you enjoy the stuff I do, and I seriously am eternally grateful for every shred of support that you've shown me. Honestly guys, it means the world. Now I'd like to thank you all for watching this video, and hope that you all enjoy today's content. If you feel like I deserve it, I would appreciate the like, and hope that you'll consider subscribing if you're interested in hearing from me again. I'll see you on the next video, guys. And as always, take it easy.